Jade Cargill fans, I got some news that you are not going to want to hear. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that news is, right? Because Jade Cargill, she is officially on her way to the mountaintop, right? She's made the jump, AEW to WWE. She worked WrestleMania 40, 6-woman tag team match. She teamed with Bianca Belair, Naomi, taking on Damage Control. WrestleMania 40 Philadelphia, y'all. Let go. Now, when it comes to Jade Cargill, oh, how the fans are divided. You're a supporter or you're a hater. You're a believer or you're a denier. You either think she's overrated or you think she's underrated. It just depends on where you fall. Either way, you got an opinion. Jade Cargill is one of those where she divides the fan base. And for whatever reason, she is polarizing. I don't understand. The majority of people, our community here on YouTube and on Facebook, they align with my beliefs that Jade Cargill is a megastar. She is going to be huge for WWE. She's going to be huge for pro wrestling. She has a legitimate chance to make the transition from wrestling to acting, just like The Rock has done, biggest actor in Hollywood, just like Dave Bautista has done, and just like John Cena has done. Right? But we have yet to see a female star make the transition fully. Right? We have Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks. Well, she went from wrestling and she got a part in The Mandalorian. Right? We've seen Becky Lynch do some acting here and there, but it's not been anything major. Right? But with Jade Cargill, when she was in AEW, she had this presence. She has the look, she has the presentation, she has the entrance, she has the body, she has the ring attire, she has the charisma. She's got it all, really. The only thing that she lacks is experience inside the squared circle. But that's a good thing to have. If that's really your only flaw, then you're off to the races and you're going to be somebody in this business because you can work on that. You can fix that, if you will. Over time, reputation, right? More matches, boom, boom, boom. You can get through that. But as she's made this transition from AEW to WWE, well, it's been a lot for her. Think about it. She's gone from AEW where, yes, she was booked as a top star, but she wasn't booked against top stars. We never got to see her and Britt Baker. Oh, how I would have loved to send that match. And now she made the transition to WWE. She trained at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, for months, to the point where people were questioning whether or not this woman was ever going to make her in-ring debut in a WWE ring. And I knew that she would, and you knew she would, but people were impatient. Despite the fact that I've come on here numerous times and tell you, look, she's come out and said this. The company has come out and said this, which was, they weren't going to rush her. They were going to take their time with her because they wanted her to get used to the WWE system. And there is a system. You got to get used to the cameras. You got to get used to the spots. You got to get used to the ring. You got to get used to the ropes. All of this stuff. And they believe that Jade Cargill has a huge potential in front of her. And when you have someone special like that, when you have a diamond in the rough, what's the hurry? Right? And if you think about it in hindsight now, it's actually brilliant the way that they did it. They saved her. She was on TV. Boom, she has one of the more memorable Royal Rumble in-ring debuts, right? And a lot of people forget Naomi made her return to the company at that Royal Rumble. And so now that she worked WrestleMania 40, in that 6-woman tag, people were like, oh, okay. And especially when she made the save on a recent episode of SmackDown for Bianca Belair and for Naomi. When she came out there, she was a star. When she made her entrance to officially declare herself a member of the SmackDown roster, she became a bigger star. The entrance coming in from the shadows, right? The silhouette, the music, the lighting, the pyro, everything, megastar. So in today's video, what I thought fans wouldn't want to hear is something that, brace yourself, Eric Bischoff recently said on an episode of 83 weeks. He was talking and really compared Jade Cargill to Goldberg. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute, why fans of hers should not want that comparison to come true. Now, the comparison's obviously there already, but you don't want this comparison to come true. And I'll tell you why. Because Goldberg, hey, legendary name, WWE Hall of Famer. He's had a very, very successful career. One of the bigger names in the history of the pro wrestling business. But there is one flaw with him, and I'll get to that in a minute. This is what Bischoff had to say. Jade Cargill, I don't know if they're going to do a documentary or she's documenting her career starting in AEW and spending a couple years there and not really doing much after the first 6 months. But to get that big break, she's kind of like Bill Goldberg in a way. She hasn't been around that long. I mean, yes, she showed up in AEW back in 2021, 2022, whenever it was. End quote. Yeah. She has somewhat of a comparison to Bill Goldberg. Yes, she had a lengthy undefeated streak. Yes, she was very limited in her experience in the pro wrestling business and was given a mega push, right? They both came from backgrounds in which they didn't have any pro wrestling experience before joining, in Bill Goldberg's case, WCW, or Jade Cargill in WWE. The reason why I don't like to hear this, and the reason that Jade Cargill fans do not like to hear this, is because you do not want her to be, A, compared to a legendary name. B, you do not want her to be compared to Bill Goldberg. I understand that Bill Goldberg is a big name, and he had a very impactful early WCW run. Everyone criticized his feud with Brock Lesnar. Everyone criticized when he beat Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship. Everyone criticized every time that he was used on television as taking away spots from younger talent. No one liked his first WWE run from 2003 to 2004. Nobody liked that run. And after the streak, Goldberg was never the same. Why would you want Jade Cargill to be compared to someone like that? I'm not denying the impact that he had on the business. I'm not denying the successful first year and a half run whenever he lost his streak. But everyone will say that in a lot of ways, Bill Goldberg was a one-trick pony. And here's why. What was Bill Goldberg known for? What was he known for? The streak. What is he known for after? I'd like to know. Yeah, he had a good catchphrase. There was no depth to that character. You want more for Jade Cargill. You want her to have a long, successful career where she had classic matches and classic feuds. Tell me Bill Goldberg's best feud. Brock? Hogan? Would you really say Hogan versus Goldberg was one of the greatest feuds of all time? I wouldn't. Would you say that him and Brock Lesnar was one of the greatest feuds of all time? I wouldn't. I want more for Jade Cargill, and so should you. And that's why this would be a bad comparison for Jade Cargill fans.